why content creation feels harder for you, seems easier for them, and how it can be easy for you. We're jumping right in today. We're not beating around the bush. We're getting right into it, okay? There are a few key pieces of content creation and what you see from others and what you're thinking in your head that are completely, some are made up, some you're not wrong. You've noticed a pattern, and that pattern is true, both for them and for you, okay? And then the other piece is letting it be easy for you, right? Like, so how can you take what you see others do and let it be easy for you from there, okay? So one of the things is this. You are thinking that you have to create content in a certain way or on certain topics or in a certain format or like 3 steps to and how to this and this, that, and the other, right? Like you're thinking that you have to make content the exact same way that they do. But there are key pieces that they have in place that maybe you don't yet. And if you do, then that's fine, because one of these other things may apply to you. So stick with me here, okay? So let's take someone that you admire, right? They're talking about things, whether their topic is hair, whether their topic is makeup, whether their topic is business or restaurants or food or fashion or fitness or whatever it is, right? And they are speaking from their experience, number one. They are speaking from their expertise, the lessons that they've learned, the things that they've studied, right? And it flies off the tongue. And sometimes we get tongue twisted, and sometimes we might say things in a backwards manner because we're on camera and we get a little excited or whatever, right? But at the core of it, they're speaking from their experience and they're speaking from their expertise. So obviously it comes easier for them. Just like someone who sees me on video and they're like, but Sunshine, you just talk to the people and you just do it. Well, I started talking to the camera in 2007, 8, somewhere around there. I started my YouTube channel then, and before that I was speaking into a microphone on my very first podcast. So I've been doing this for a really long time, right? I've had that chance to elevate my experience and elevate my expertise in this format and in doing these things and in delivering courses and that kind of thing. So I've had plenty of practice, right? I've had plenty of experience doing it. I've had plenty of trial runs. I've had plenty of bloopers. I've had plenty of mess ups, and I've had plenty of successes. So what is that for you, right? That is how content creation becomes easier for you, because instead of saying 7 steps to or 7 ways how, like you can, if you have 7 ways on how to apply a great smoky eye, by all means give it to us, right? Some of us don't do smoky eye very well because it never comes out right. That being said, if you have 7 steps to a great smoky eye, then by all means give it. But if you want to do something like, this is how I apply a smoky eye, you can do that all day long. It doesn't have to be 7 steps. People can learn by watching you. People can experience by watching you. People can experiment by watching you do it, okay? So it doesn't have to be in a certain way. The other thing that they're doing is they are embracing storytelling, and not just any storytelling. And I want to give examples of 2, maybe 3 different clients that I've worked with, and I've worked with a lot when it comes to storytelling. And the thing of it is each one of them had a different shift in how they told stories, right? And a different shift on what they needed in their storytelling toolbox in order to be successful with it, right? So one is a very successful business owner, has been telling stories her whole entire life, well before we ever met and ever since we met ages and ages ago, right? That being said, it wasn't always the right stories to convert, number one, because she was growing her coaching business at that time. And number 2, they lacked a certain amount of structure. Especially if you have ADHD or something, then understanding story structure will help you to stay on point and help you to, you can have the side quest, you can meander off, but it'll give you that frame of reference on how to come back to the core pieces and the core point, and bringing your people that are reading it or listening to it or watching it back to the core of what that story is about. So that is something that she worked on in our time together, and that helped her stories convert. It landed more speaking opportunities. It landed shout outs in HBO documentaries. It landed in her content. It landed in her creativity when it came to her website and her blog and those kinds of things, right? Another client was afraid to use vulnerable pieces of her story, and not vulnerable in the sense of exposing more than anyone ever wants to expose online ever kind of thing, but more of that fear of, because it was very painful to tell, but it was an important piece of the story to tell, to save other animals' lives in the future, and future clients and people that read her story heartbreak later. So that was an important story to tell. So we worked together on that, on how to tell that story in such a way that honored the memory of the animal that died, that didn't attack those who were in that experience at that time. Because when we know better, we do better, right? We always want to assume that, someone's doing the best that they can with what they've got. And helped her to release it out into the world to help others. And it also led to media and her pitching her story to media publications within her industry and getting picked up for that. So that's another way that comes through. And then another person who I've worked with who isn't online as much, but when they pop online, it's very powerful. When they tell a story, it's very powerful. When they allow their shell to open up just a bit, long enough to let that story out and let it do its work out in the world, it comes out very powerful. And so we worked on not just the structure of storytelling and not just the whatever, but we worked on things like allowing that crack open and being okay with being out there long enough to get the story told and interact with their people, while also having that, I get to retreat. I get to pull back when it's healthy for me, when it's best for me. And so the people that you see succeeding in content, and part of the reason why it may feel off for you, is either you're not storytelling in your content, you're storytelling in such a way that gets the reader, listener, watcher lost, or you are not telling the stories that matter. Now, let me clear this up real quick, because I know you're going to come for me in the comments if I don't. We can tell any story we want to tell, and telling stories that aren't the stories that need to be told for conversion, for know, like, trust, and everything do feel safer to tell at the beginning. So I'm not saying don't ever tell those stories. If you need to tell those stories to get your chops wet and get it going, then by all means do that. Please, by all means, do that. In the meantime, just remember that you are building your way up to telling the stories that will have the most impact, to telling the stories that will move your business forward, to telling the stories that will advocate for others, to tell the stories that'll save a life, to tell the stories that will bring you more clients, to tell the stories that will get you published, right? Whatever it is your goals are, there are stories that will help you get there. And if you have to tell other stories to get in the habit of storytelling first, by all means, tell those stories, but then get to telling the stories that move the needle for you, okay? Another thing that they're doing that you may not be doing is the following. They are following their obsessions, their devotion, the thing that they can't not do. And you may not be giving yourself permission to do that yet, especially if you already have an established business, especially if you are already an established leader. It may feel awkward. It may feel a little scary. It may feel like it might backfire if you start spreading out a little bit. And here's what I need to tell you on this, and I really need you to hear this, okay? You can spread your wings and fly, and the people that appreciate the human side of you, especially if you've never shown it, and I have an example for that as well, right? But especially if you've never let yourself open up and share that side of you, right? Then they're going to actually gravitate towards you more because it humanizes you, because it tells more of your story, because they feel like they know you better, because it feels like even if they don't feel like you're just like them, they feel like you're not so unattainable that they can't get to where they need to go as well, right? So, an example of that is a business owner who I know who really has a very private reason for why she takes her health so seriously. And everything in their content was business only, business only, business only, business only, business only, business only. Instead of going the storytelling route of why they take their health so seriously, or what happened, or the struggles that they had because they weren't comfortable telling that, they were able to share how they take their health seriously, what it means to them, how it helps to impact their business, how it helps to impact their community, and how others can do it as well that are busy, that don't have time to work out, that don't have time to eat right, but maybe they have other capacities that they can work on. And so sharing from that viewpoint actually helped to humanize that business more so than just having the logo, more so than just having the sales post, more so than just having another satisfied customer type post, right? And so that is like a side obsession that they have that they were then able to share. Rescuing animals is a definitely side obsession and devotion for me and my family. I share about that. Your side obsession, your big devotion might be different. Oh, and speaking of rescuing kitties, if this camera falls, it's because there's a kitten down there investigating the tripod. So we might leave that in there if that happens. Mittens, please don't. So that is another aspect, is they are following the devotion, they're following the obsession. And some of your favorite creators that you like just really vibe with, I bet you they're sharing the fun too. I bet you they're keeping it entertaining in such a way that's not entertaining for performative sake necessarily. Like, we know Mr. Beast is definitely like, he does the big performances kind of thing, and God love him, like that's his jam. But not everybody is like that, and most business owners aren't like that. But if they infuse their sense of humor, if they infuse levity, when they infuse laughter, when they infuse what makes them them and what makes them laugh and what they know makes others laugh because they've done it inside conversations, they've done it at the end of meetings, they've done it like in all of those aspects, right? They bring that into their content and it opens up a whole new world for them. You can do the same thing. You can talk about your side quest. You can talk about your obsessions. You can talk about your devotions. You can talk about the things that make you that make you laugh, that just tickle your funny bone, that make you, giggle like as you're falling asleep. See, kitty hair. And you hear them jumping down in the background, right? Probably, maybe not. I do have the microphone set to where hopefully you don't, but here we are, life with rescue kitties. The other thing that they're doing that you might not be doing is they're just letting it be easy. They're not sitting there. Not everybody needs a content plan. Some people that never post might look at a content plan for inspiration, but those who are creating content consistently, those who are seeing success and getting the reach, right? They are actually creating from the space of, this is what I want to create next. This is the thing that I think will help someone the most. This is the thing that makes me excited to create it. This is the thing that I think is fun to create. This is the thing, like this one here, I had nothing on paper. It's not in my little Notion idea thing or anything. It was just, I had the inspired idea. I knew that all of this, the information is solid because I've seen it with clients and with everyone, his much, again and again, right? but it wasn't in any plan. It wasn't in any content calendar. It wasn't in any, oh, this would be the next best strategic move. And while strategy is something that I work with my clients on, it doesn't always have to be strategic. Sometimes it gets to be inspired. A lot of times it gets to be easy. If anything, if you want to have like a content bank of things, then I would have a hub, have a space, have somewhere where you can put all your ideas as they come to you and flesh them out later. You can have your ideas, you can have any initial like outline pieces or bullet points or key point that you want to make, right? And you can put that in there and save it for later and come back around to it. Or you can do like I'm doing right now. You can grab the camera, you can film inspired, you can write inspired, you can record your voice and create and release a podcast inspired. You can let it be easy for you. The other thing, and we talked about this in another video, so I'm not going to like beat this one to death, but perfectionism. You don't have to be perfect, right? You don't have to be hair done. Like I blow dried my hair, but like I didn't curl it, right? You don't have to have makeup. I have lip gloss on. I'm not a makeup girly and that's the other thing, is trying to be somebody they're not in their content versus just being who they are. And there's a difference between being authentic and just being, chaotic, hot mess express in a bad way versus a good way, because there are two ways to do that. That being said, like, if you're not someone who wears makeup all the time, but you get overly done for your videos, if that's what feels true to you, then great. But that doesn't feel true to me, so I don't do that. And it gets me out of my own way and in here coming and speaking to you and talking to you in such a way that it's going to benefit you in your business, right? Or it's going to benefit you in your content creation. It's going to benefit you in your relationships. It's going to benefit you in your health. Whatever it is, right? So let that be that for you. Where you're stopping yourself is where you actually need to sit there and say, you know what? That thing doesn't matter right now, and let me just go create it. That thing doesn't matter right now, but this idea came through, so let me create it. This thought that really is not the thing holding me back that I think it is, let me ignore that for a minute and go create it. And I'll give a personal example for that one that's absolutely perfect. So in relaunching this YouTube channel and in getting here and creating for you, because yes, I do have that mission to help 500,000 people be well-fed, well-loved, and well-financed, right? That being said, one of the things that I was really like scared to do is I knew I needed to make that carnivore video, and I didn't want to make it all at the same time. And I've got another one coming up about the whole raw vegan to carnivore journey later. That being said, I was really scared to make that video, and I sent a DM to my friend and said, I'm so afraid to make this video because I'm scared that that's the one that everyone will latch onto, and it'll be the one that takes off, and then they'll only want content for that. But I know that my purpose is to talk to you about being well-fed. It's to talk to you about being well-loved. It's to talk to you about being well-financed. Content creation and creating for your business, that's one way of helping you be well-financed, right? The data shows, and I'm very much a vibe girl, inspiration girl. Like, I will fly by the seat of my pants, and I'll do really well doing that. Not everybody does, and not everybody needs to do that. If it feels good for you and it works for you, do it. If it doesn't, then don't. I'm not saying you have to do it like I do it. That being said, going back and looking at the data, when I've posted the videos, like long form videos, they get a little less views, and I have a very small channel thus far. That being said, my shorts, each short from each topic, I've had one go to 1,000 views. And the one on carnivore is actually sitting around 800,000 something. I think it's one of those that I shared that's like close to it. So each topic has gotten 8 to 10x my reach for the size of my channel, which means that the inspired creating is working. It means that people are resonating with what I have to say in all three areas, and that my fear was unfounded. But what if I had let that fear stop me and I hadn't put out that video about the 3 surprising effects of carnivore that I wish I'd known sooner, right? What if I hadn't done that? What if I had let that fear stop me? What fear, what false belief, what limiting thought are you having around content creation that's stopping you from doing the thing that you need to do right now? Please post it in the comments. I want to see. It'll help me create even more content like this for you, but also we can have that conversation, okay? I hope this was helpful for you. I do have another video talking about, I want to say it was 3 mistakes content creators are making or something like that. Or no, I think it was the number 1. Something like that. I don't know. I don't remember the title of the video, but it's there. The card will be there somewhere. I love you. I can't wait to see you next time. And if you didn't catch that carnivore video, there's that right there. Or right there. I never know which way these things go. Mwah, mwah. Love you.